said, think it's time for change. You may get disgusted, start thinking that I'm strange. Well, in that case, I'll go underground and I'll get some heavy rest. And I'll never have to worry about what is worse, what is best. I said, oh, domino, Romeo, Romeo, there you go.
Vlog number 11, In Search of Spirituality in North Carolina. Yeah, let's do this.
Domino, Romeo, Romeo, there you go. I said, oh, domino, Romeo, Romeo.
I'm heading over to the Church of Latter-day Saints. It's the temple where the Mormons meet. A couple weeks ago, I filled out a form on the Mormon.org website to have a Book of Mormon sent to me. And a couple missionaries showed up at my house. And I was having dinner. They wanted to come in, but they gave me the book. And anyways, I arranged to meet one of the missionaries, or maybe a couple of them, here tonight. So they're going to share the word of Joseph Smith with me. This should be interesting. Let's do this. One love.
Your destination is on the right.
Okay. All right.
I think in order to understand like the why of the Book of Mormon, would love to share something that we call the restoration of the gospel of Jesus Christ. It kind of like gives you like the background and why we need the Book of Mormon and why God gave us the Book of Mormon.
Okay.
So we'd love to share that with you.
Sure.
Okay. So can we say a prayer before we start?
Sure.
Okay. So I'll say this prayer. Dear Father in heaven, we're grateful for this day, and we're grateful for this time that we have to be here with AJ, and grateful for his willingness to learn. We ask thee for thy Spirit, that we may learn something new, and that we may feel the Holy Ghost, and we may be edified from this. So please bless us and protect us and our families. Keep us safe, and we love thee, Father, and we say these things in the name of thy Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
So who is God for you, Anthony?
To me, God is an ultimate force of the universe, an energy form. I think God is the universe. I always think of God as this all-powerful force, this energy that, and I even believe that we are all God. We are all part of God, that we all come from one source, and God is the source.
Okay.
That's kind of my book. That's what I feel.
Do you believe that God is more of like an energy and a power instead of an actual being or a person?
That's what I feel.
Well, we believe that God, He's our Father, and we're literally His children. We're His offspring, and so He looks like we do, or we look like He does. And
so you believe He's actual person, like in flesh?
We believe that He has a body of flesh and bone.
Although we believe that his power and His influence is in the whole universe. And the whole universe is full of something called the light of Christ.
The universe, well, I can see that, yeah.
And the light of Christ is pretty much the power of God that fills the immensity of space.
And so we start off by teaching about God,
Uh-huh.
because we have to have a correct understanding of who He is
Yeah.
in order to understand the rest of our message.
Right.
And so we believe that God, He's our Father, that He loves us. And because He loves us so much, He created a plan for us.
Uh-huh.
And part of His plan was for us to come down here to earth and to receive a body. And part of us being successful down here on earth is following Jesus Christ and living the gospel.
The apostles, they left their testament about Christ.
Yeah.
So people, they wanted to do their best. They wanted to follow Christ. So they created their own churches. But nobody on the earth had the authority to run the church. The apostles were gone.
Okay.
So there was a period of darkness in the earth
Uh-huh.
from the time of Christ up until the 1800s,
Uh-huh.
around that time. This is a period of physical, like spiritual darkness and intellectual darkness. You know that in history they're called the Dark Ages, right?
Yeah.
And that's not a coincidence,
Yeah.
because there was spiritual darkness, there was all kinds of darkness in a
Yeah.
way. And our message, AJ, is that God, He has again called a prophet. He has again called 12 apostles to teach us the true gospel of Jesus Christ. And that's Joseph Smith.
Oh, who's the 12 apostles?
So we'll get there.
Okay.
Give us just a
Yeah,
second.
so going back to that first thing that we were talking about God being our loving Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
He loves us, so He gave us His Son.
Yeah.
He gave us prophets since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
He gave us Moses, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob,
Yeah.
Noah. All of those were prophets. And again, there's a period of darkness. We call this an apostasy, where people turn away from the teachings of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And God doesn't want us to remain in darkness
No.
because He loves us.
Right.
So in the 1800s, there was a boy who was born during this time of confusion.
Uh-huh.
There were so many churches, and he read in the Bible, there's one Lord, one faith, and one baptism. There's one church, there's one gospel, there's one way to salvation. And he wanted to know which church had that one way. And so he began a search. He started going to different churches,
Yeah.
and he was hoping to be able to decipher for himself which one was right. But then one day he was just studying in the Book of Mormon, or studying in the Bible, and he came across a verse in the Epistle of James, chapter 1, verse 5.
Yeah.
And that verse just simply read, "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God." So when he read that verse, it inspired him to go pray.
Uh-huh.
And so he went and he knelt down, and AJ, this was the first time that Joseph Smith ever offered a prayer out loud.
Oh, it's Joseph Smith?
His name was Joseph Smith. And he was 14 years old at this time.
Uh-huh.
And so he went down to a grove of trees near his home, and he began to pray. And he had this miraculous experience. And he said in his own words, as he began to pray, "I saw a pillar of light exactly over my head, above the brightness of the sun, which descended gradually until it fell upon me. When the light rested upon me, I saw two personages, whose brightness and glory defy all description, standing above me in the air. One of them spake unto me, calling me by name, and said, pointing to the other, This is my beloved Son, hear him."
Huh.
So he was visited by God the Father, our
Jesus.
Heavenly Father, and Jesus Christ.
Ah.
And Jesus Christ was that personage that called him by name. Or Heavenly Father called him by name. and said, "Listen to my son, Jesus Christ."
Huh.
And so Joseph Smith then asked his question, which church should I join? Which is true? And the answer that he received wasn't the answer that he was expecting. He was expecting to know which he should join. He thought there had to be one that was right.
So he said they're all wrong.
He said that they were all wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was called to be a prophet, and he was told that he would be an instrument in the hands of God in restoring the truth back to the earth that was lost. And Anthony, this is a miraculous experience, because it's not often that a person on this earth gets to see God face to face.
Well, Moses
got to see God.
Yeah.
And prophets, they get to see God. And Joseph Smith, he testified that he saw God in Jesus Christ, and that they had bodies of flesh and bone, and that they looked exactly like we do. And so, really, the role of prophets is really to help us to understand our true relationship to God and know who He really is. And the Book of Mormon is a fruit of Joseph Smith.
Yeah.
So if the Book of Mormon is true, or if it's good, that means that it came from God. And if it came from God, then that means Joseph Smith was a prophet.
Yeah.
And it means that Joseph Smith really did have that vision.
Yeah.
So we invite everyone on the earth to read the Book of Mormon, to ponder and pray about it.
Yeah.
And then we can promise you that if you do that, God will answer that prayer. And through the Holy Ghost, He will reveal to you that Joseph Smith was a prophet, and that the message that we've shared with you tonight is true.
Okay. Well, that sounds interesting.
What do you think of that story?
But it sounds interesting. Yeah.
You believe that it could be true?
I think it's possible, yeah.
So, what we've shared with you is just like a little piece
of
the picture.
Yeah.
We as missionaries, what we do is that we try to share a little bit more of the picture, so that people can really take a decision and really learn and feel the Spirit, because that's the way that God talks to us.
Okay.
And we're like guides. We know that we're not the true teachers. We're just young men.
Yeah.
We're not perfect teachers, but the true teacher is God. And we act as spiritual guides for people. And we just invite people to read the Book of Mormon, to pray about it.
Okay.
And we help guide people to truth.
Okay.
Because if this message is true, wouldn't you say that this is one of the most important messages on the world today, that there's another prophet called, and that Jesus Christ, one true church, is brought back?
Yeah, if it's true, it would be very important. Yeah.
So, after all of this, like Peterson was saying, the reason of the Book of Mormon is that this is an evidence that God still talks to people.
Yeah.
He still cares about us.
Yeah.
And that He still calls prophets to teach us His gospel. So as we were explaining in the beginning, this is a story of people here in America that traveled from Jerusalem. They wrote...
Can I get another copy?
Yeah, you can get another copy.
Okay.
I can give you this one.
All right.
And the last prophet in the Book of Mormon, his name is Moroni.
Yeah.
And Moroni is that same angel that appears,
Yeah.
right? So Moroni's father was Mormon. And Mormon, he put together the Book of Mormon, and then he died. And his son Moroni was the one who hid it in the ground.
Oh, this was before Joseph Smith?
Yeah, this was in 400 AD.
Oh, Okay.
And then in the 1800s, Joseph Smith was led by God to it.
Oh.
And he got it, and then he translated it by the power of God.
Uh-huh.
So that's the story.
Uh-huh.
And it teaches us the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
And many things that together with the Bible, it gives us the full picture of the plan of God.
Oh, so you have the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay.
We believe that these two go together to testify of Christ.
That's the complete story.
Because many things were lost from the Bible throughout time.
I believe that. I never believed the Holy Bible was complete.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it was a complete book that it's missing.
Yeah. We believe the same thing. We believe that many things have been lost. Lost in translation, lost because people took it away.
Yeah. So then, that kind of makes sense then. The Book of Mormon fills in the picture.
It fills the missing gaps.
Huh.
And we can understand the whole plan that God has for us together. That's one of the other reasons why God gave us the Book of Mormon.
Huh. Interesting.
So we, the people that we meet with,
Yeah.
that kind of are studying, reading, meeting with us, we call them investigators.
Uh-huh.
And we call them investigators because this kind of is like a journey.
Yeah.
And so we invite you to, we'd like to ask you if you'd like to investigate
Yeah,
this
I'd like
message and to really read the Book of Mormon. And
I would like to read it, yeah.
would you be willing to do that?
I'll check it out soon.
You don't need to read the whole thing to know it is true.
Yeah.
Because you will feel the Spirit as you read.
Okay.
That's going to tell you that's true. And we also have like other messages that come from the Bible and the Book of Mormon that will help you understand more of like the plan of salvation, the plan of God, and all of that. And that's what we normally share with people as you read the Book of Mormon, because it makes more sense to get like all the sources.
Okay. Well, I'll have to see when we can meet again. But do you have a service or something like church?
Yeah.
On Sunday?
And we have church every Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Here?
Starts.
Oh, okay. Was it a big chapel or something?
Yeah, we can show you.
Okay.
Do you think you would be willing to come this Sunday?
I might. Yeah, I think I'll come Sunday.
All right.
1 o'clock and listen to what they have to say. Yeah.
Yeah. This is yours.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah. No problem.
Well, I found that to be very interesting. You're probably seeing the edited version here because I was in there for about 34 minutes. Anyways, I'm on my way to the best vegan restaurant in Charlotte to get a nice vegan dinner. Peace, one love, let's do this. No, I'm ready to order the, what was it, fried tofu finger sandwich, teriyaki.
And what's that?
Oh, it comes with a side?
Yep.
I guess fried squash. Yeah. That'll do it?
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
She gets her little things. You turn this face.
No, that'll do it.